Well, welcome to a reading for the week of February 24th, 2025. The year is absolutely flying by. Hope your February is going really, really well. This reading is meant to be an overview of what's coming up, what we might be able to lean into, what we might want to watch out for, give us a little bit of a roadmap to be able to best work with the energy as best as we possibly can, to be as successful and happy and gorgeous as our lives will possibly tolerate. So let's just get a quick overview of the week, and then we'll get a couple of cards to see what we can really lean into, enjoy, be excited about, what we might look out for, and 2 cards, one for kind of what the beginning of the week will look like and what we can kind of expect towards the end. So, okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Justice card, and the 6 of Cups. So let's take them one at a time. The Knight of Pentacles is all about continuing to move forward. This is a very steady, slow, step-by-step kind of a guy or gal. There's nothing that this person can't achieve, but it's not going to be fast. This horse is standing still. Some of the other horses in the Knight's cards are like rearing, or they're running, or they're like flying through the air. The Knight of Pentacles is just really slow and steady, but nothing will stop him. There's nothing that's going to stop this person from moving forward. It's also about finance, money, material pursuits, projects you're working on that have like a tangible, physical, pick them up and do them kind of a situation, or like a financial reward that you're going to get. The yellow in the background is really striking me. This feels very warm this week, like we're kind of excited to continue just moving forward on our projects that are already started and kind of seeing them through. There's a lot to benefit. There's a lot to gain from with this card by just continuing to move forward. And you can see where like the landscape here is changing. We might be moving from kind of like these distant mountains where you might have overcome a lot of trials, tribulations, hardships with this particular project or just in general. And we're kind of in some clearer pastures and moving into more adventures here as we move forward. So let's see what else we have going on. The Justice card as a major arcana card, kind of right in the middle, is really interesting. I just love this card in particular. Very, very neutral. The Justice card tells us that the scales are being balanced, and when we see this card in the upright position, it's usually in our favor. Something is working out for us. This could be in like paperwork or like official judicial matters. If you're going through any kind of paperwork, like purchasing a home, a divorce, signing a contract, the sign of the Justice card says that things are going to work out for you. It's also just a righting of the scales. Things are going to right themselves if you feel like you've been wronged, if there's something that hasn't been feeling equalized to you. This week's energy is really saying that that's going to be a part of this story this week, especially since it's a major arcana card sort of flanked or in the middle of these 2 minor arcana cards. Major arcana cards, is nothing like more or less special about them. They just tend to indicate energy that's larger than the Knight of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, than the minor arcana. They tend to indicate sort of seasons that we get to navigate through, right? You can't choose when it's spring, but you get to choose how you react in spring, if that makes sense. So moving on, the 6 of Cups here is a lot about, then the 6 of Cups is, it's like bittersweet for me. It's a card about nostalgia, about feeling good, about remembering the good times, about remembering what felt good and when you were a kid and what brought you joy, and relationships. This is absolutely a soulmate card. Look at this little sparkle on the cup here. It almost looks like she's giving a cup of cotton candy there, as something like magical and just beautiful, and a really sweet gift from a mom to a daughter there. Parent to a child. There's like a lot of reciprocity, a lot of sweetness, but it's not, nostalgia is thinking back on how good things were, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they were, right? It's a sort of a rosy colored lens for the past or the way that things used to be. And so this could be a feeling of real sweetness, of coming back into connection with something that brought you joy when you were younger, or reconnecting with a part of yourself that you maybe haven't felt in a while with the Six of Cups. Coming back into relationship with the child that you were, or the inner child that's here and excited to play and feel safe and feel self-expressed and feel just like there's no cares in the world. You're not worried about responsibilities or finances or moving forward on projects. You're just excited about cotton candy and a big old weird cup with sparkles on it. And it's your whole life and you're so excited. So I love that there's some real whimsy in this week, and some real connection and some real like childlike innocence and heartfelt connection, which we could all use a little bit more of these days. So there's some real work to do. There's a real sense that like the week will start or kind of begin and have this flow of just moving forward on things that you've already had in place, continuing to do the work that needs to be done, and really being rewarded for it. The Justice card here in this position is saying like there's a real reward for continuing to move forward on whatever you've got going on. It's going to pay off. You're going to get some payoff this week for that. And that might lead to some real celebration with the Six of Cups, a real leaning into the sweetness of life, and maybe like a real carefree vibe that you've hit a milestone this upcoming week. That could absolutely be the story here. Kind of continuing to move forward and really being rewarded with that justice vibe, and taking some time out to like eat some ice cream with your fam or reconnect and like play in a way that you haven't in a really long time. So that's really, really sweet. Let's go ahead and get a sense of like what we can lean into this week, and like blessings and things that might not feel so good. Okay, great. Interesting. So we have the blessings with the 10 of Cups in reverse. So this is really fascinating. Our blessing this week, what we can really look forward to, is a shift in how we feel emotionally secure. So maybe this is giving me like best friend moves away and you're really sad, but it opens up a whole new experience, a whole new time frame for you to like connect with your neighbors, and they have like a really cool kiddo that you're excited to play with. I don't know why this is giving me all kid vibes, but there's something that's like initially feels like it could be really destabilizing in love or relationship or friendship, but this is our blessing this week. So whatever you are releasing or whatever is shifting or whatever feels like the bottom kind of is falling out, is actually leading you to a very, very fulfilled place. The 10 of Cups is just the stability in relationship and emotional overflow. It's generational wealth when it comes to our emotional body. It's relationships, it's family, it's friends, it's the interconnection of all of them and how much peace and stability and love it brings us. So when we see it in reverse, there's going to be some kind of a shift in that foundational feeling. But I love that because it's here in our blessing card area. This card represents blessings for the week. So whatever shift that looks like, it's bringing in something even better. And what could possibly be better than the 10 of Cups, I don't know, but it's going to be real good because the 10 of Cups is a fabulous card. It's the culmination of so much love and relationship building. And here what we can be aware of, or what we might be warned about, is really self-explanatory. So that's great. The 7 of Swords here kind of represents maybe a lot of the fears that we're experiencing in our own mind. The 7 of Swords can be a card about what's the word I'm looking for? Self-sabotage. 7 of Swords says I'm not good enough. It's sneaky. It's a way that like other people can be sneaky towards us, but oftentimes it really reads to me as a card that says we are screwing ourselves over in some way, or we're really being asked to face some beliefs that like aren't serving us anymore. And in the context of what's going on this week, this could look like something really beautiful happening. This could look like you working really hard, right? Continuing to work hard on something. Maybe you haven't seen the benefit or the fruits of your labor, or it's getting tiring. You think you might not. And there's some kind of windfall this week where like it's all paid off, or something rights itself. Something really falls into place for you. And it leads to this feeling of like peace and joy and nostalgia and happiness, and that feeling of like freedom and safety that you had when you were a kid. And our warning here this week says, you might feel wary of that. You might not be willing to trust it. you have to really be careful this week of thoughts that say, I don't know, this, like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? Or I'm not good enough for this, or I couldn't possibly be this happy, or I couldn't possibly feel this safe. I'm sure it's not right. Or, you know, it's reminding me of a friend of mine who will probably watch this video, who has a fabulous job. It's relatively new, and they are constantly thinking that they're probably going to get fired. They've worked exceptionally hard to be where they are. They continued to work towards it step by step, day by day, you know, until they got hired in a position that really, really worked out for them. They put years into being where they were, cultivating their craft, showing up, being professional, all of these things, and it worked out. It paid off. There was a windfall that came through them. Justice came through. They sort of got what they deserved from the work that was put in. And there can be a really beautiful sense of like freedom and peace and ease, and it's a very sweet situation in a lot of ways. And there are still a lot of feelings of trepidation, of not knowing if this is going to stick, of thinking that like, okay, great, but like what's around the corner? It's probably not going to last. And that's the energy of the Seven of Swords, just not believing in ourselves, not believing that the situation might work out. And who knows, maybe it won't, but don't let it not work out because you're believing that into existence. And that's what this card this week is telling us. So there's some emotional fallout here that's going to bring blessings our way. And the warning is, if you come into thoughts that aren't just the most supportive of who you are and where you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it, just rewrite them, catch them in the moment and say, hey, like, let's redo this. That's actually just not accurate. What other story, what other loop can you put in your brain to sub that out? Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and get like a couple of cards. I'm just gonna get like one card for the beginning of the week, what we can kind of expect towards the beginning, say Monday through Thursday, Monday through Wednesday, and then a second card that'll sort of be Thursday through Sunday to kind of end out the week. Just a short little timeline here. And again, this is a reading, weekly reading for February 24th, 2025. So we have towards the beginning of the week and then closing the week out. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's move these forward so all of these are visible. Okay, so beginning of the week, the first half of the week, we have this Four of Swords in reverse. This is reading one of two ways. It could either mean that you are resting too much. There's sort of a period of inactivity where it's your period of inactivity has been extended too long. You laid down for a cat nap for 20 minutes and it's now been 2 hours. That could be the vibe for the first part of the week. Or it could mean that you're really coming out of a period of rest and relaxation, or kind of like putting your mind on the back burner for a while and starting to really feel active again, that things are really beginning to move. The Four of Swords is all about it's all about a sense of taking time out, setting your mind at ease, like letting the swords, which represent our mind, our thought, our communication, just like putting them up, right? They're all up. None of them are active. None of them are in play right now. We're using our third eye for communicating and like emanating our feelings. And this lamb, a sign of like real peace, just hanging out, just having a good time, just being. There's no action here. So when it's in reverse, there's either like no action times too much no action, or we're really coming out of a time of a rest. Like potentially this could look like, you were in burnout for a while in whatever area of life that might look like for you, and you took some time out, and now the beginning of the week, you're really going to start to kind of like feel the pickup again. Start to like, you got up, you got a snack, you got dressed again, for if we're taking the nap metaphor, and you're like ready to take on the day, which kind of goes hand in hand with this, this Knight of Pentacles energy. And then the second half of the week, the Son of Pentacles in reverse, there could be something that happens here that sort of reverses or stops the momentum towards a project you've been working on, or like some kind of an opportunity that's come your way. This could absolutely be in work, It could be around kiddos as well. The sun is like the page, or it could be messages. You might not be hearing about something if you've been like applying for jobs, or if you've been like trying to get a response from work, or if you've been trying to like get something going in work or material building. There's something that kind of feels maybe stuck here, or isn't coming through, or might be reversing itself towards the end of the week, with the Son of Pentacles in reverse. So again, just watch out for however that serves you best this week. And let's go ahead and just get an overall like oracle card here. Kind of close out the week with an overall energy. This is the Elemental Oracle. I like seeing these, I like seeing this kind of vibe. You know, the Son of Pentacles in reverse here. Sometimes things shift and change, and it can be for the better. And I just love seeing the vibe, like seeing tarot or like a reading like this kind of set us up to say, hey, like if you're noticing that things are slowing down in an area where you thought they were going to move forward, like that's okay. That's just the vibe of the week. Like know that like that's kind of the vibe, and just go with it. See where it takes you. If you were hoping to hear back from someone, if you were hoping something worked out and it didn't, just know that it could be really leading to a real like turning, it's like getting the feeling of like turning the corner to something, right? Like finding something out that you didn't expect. So watch for that for the rest of the week. Ice. Ooh. Okay, well, speaking of horses, I guess that's a deer on that. So overall kind of feeling of the week here is ice. It's waiting it out. There's a real dreamlike state here, and the 33 leading to a 6, which is all about the, it's actually the Lover's card. This is about the time of winter and furlough and like calm and reset and restore is actually an active period in rest. So like, it's like crops, like you have to let a crop go fallow for a while to like restore the soil. And that is actively doing good things for the soil. The rest is actively doing good things. So there's this real sense of like rest here. We're coming out of it, or we're kind of like, you know, and that kind of fits this time of year too, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, of like, we're in winter, but it's warming up. We're kind of coming right into March, and there's been a real like rest through winter. I mean, kind of, right? I know a lot of us have been really, really busy through the beginning part of the year, but it's like the deeper that you rest and relax, the more momentum you're going to have later, right? It's like the more we meditate, the more we get hooked up to source, the more synchronicities happen, the more our life takes off. The more you rest and relax, especially we can take this into like health and healing, right? Like if you've had an injury or if you've been sick, you know, it can be frustrating to be in this state where you just have to rest and relax. But like if you start acting too early, you slow down the rate of health. So this week is all about kind of next steps and energy when it comes to relaxing, and then where that takes you in the momentum forward. And watch for it. I feel like it's going to happen very naturally. You're going to be guided this week through what this process looks like. So you don't have to like do anything extra, but just know that that's sort of the vibe, and hope that it works out just for the absolute best for you this week. Okay, we'll catch you on the next one.